Today, we're breaking down exactly how to sell your home successfully in 2025 in the new Braunfels real estate market.
Right now, we have about 6 to 7 months of supply on market. What does this mean? Well, if we were to rewind the clock and go back 24, 48 months from today, we typically had less than 30 days inventory on market. So from about 2024 of last year at this time to today, we've also seen roughly a 1 to 2% price decrease on sold listings in Comal County. So what does this mean for buyers? Buyers, there's a lot more inventory on the market, and typically sellers are having to give a little bit right now. Sellers, what does this mean for you?
Before we dive into that, we are Drake and Michelle Carter with Keller Williams Heritage. We've been licensed realtors in the area going on 10 years this year, and we've helped dozens of people buy, sell, invest, all within the New Braunfels and surrounding areas. So let's dive in.
So sellers, what does this mean for you in this type of market? Well, there's a little bit more work that we're having to do to prepare yourself for a successful sell in 2025. Here we've listed down the things that we recommend that you do to make sure your home sells not only successfully, but for the most money possible. We've had instances where, we've had some sellers not take some of our advice, and then we've ended up chasing the market down, and where a seller could have potentially sold their house for, $40,000, $50,000 more, but the longer it stayed on market, the market was in a downward curve. We continuously had to chase the market, which in turn, the house ended up selling for $40,000, $50,000 less. Where if we would have just listed the house appropriately on the get-go, maybe 2 to 3% under market, you'd probably get your house sold. Long story short, take some of this advice, heed it, and make sure that you're prepared for that successful sale.
Step number 1, start the process early. And this is for a few reasons. One being just so you can have realistic expectations of how the market is right now. So what we always do on our first meeting is we come in with a net sheet. That way you guys know exactly what you're going to take home at the end of the sale to see if now's even a good time for you to sell. We prepare this net sheet just going off the basic facts you've given us about your home before we come visit you. And then we usually adjust it based on what we see with your home and the adjustments that you are willing to take and make to make your property even better. So start early for that reason. And then also a fun tip is if you plan to sell your house, say in the wintertime, we can go ahead and take photos in the spring or summer when that curb appeal has the maximum potential to attract buyers.
Step 2, staging. And when we talk about staging, I'm not just talking about the furniture or the curtains in your house. I'm talking about light fixtures, flooring. Maybe you have some old raggedy carpet that more than likely needs to be replaced. Right now is the time to do it. Your paint on the exterior of the house, maybe it's flaking and some of you have some wood rot. All of these things right now, buyers are not wanting to deal with. There's so much inventory on the market that they'll just go to the next house and be done with it. One of the biggest competition we have right now is new construction. Well, if you're reselling your home, depending on what type of home you have, your main competition might be new construction homes, where, if somebody has the opportunity to buy a 5-year-old home or a brand new home, as a realtor, I'd almost recommend them to go with the new home if especially if the price tag is the same. You're not having to deal with just the age, wear and tear of a home. So all of these things, staging, getting your home prepped, carpet, lights, paint, all of these things we are recommending to do right now to set you up for that successful sale.
And the way that a resale does stand out compared to a new build is if you've already added some of those key elements that Drake mentioned, but also if you say you want to sell even in a few years, then go ahead and take on that project if it's within the budget. Maybe add on an extended back patio. Do something that that you will enjoy right now while you're still living in the home to help prepare you to successfully sell it in a few years. So again, back to point number 1, it's never too early to start.
Number 3, price it accordingly. Now that could mean anywhere, say market has your home at $400,000 and there's, just an influx of inventory on hand, a lot of competition. Pricing it accordingly could mean pricing it anywhere from 2 to 5% below that market value to help beat out your competition. Not only does that give you the competitive edge on the price point, but it also gives you the competitive edge of not chasing the market down. From 2024 of June of 2024, July of 2024 of last year to now, we have seen that 1 to 2% 1 to 2% price decrease in Comal County, we are starting to see that really level out and not see that decrease anymore. However, if we do start to see a declining market, you do want to stay ahead of that market.
We now officially have a few case studies under our belt where we've suggested a price and the sellers have decided to do what most people want to do. It's your gut instinct to want to price it higher and just quote unquote test the market. So we've done that a couple times now, and we've been able to directly see a correlation where the house then went below what our original suggestion was. And we get it. You want to get the most money that you put into the house. You want to get all of that back and then some if possible. And it's a tricky market to do that right now. So it is more important now than ever to just take your agent's advice and not only price it where the market's at, but maybe even a little bit below, just to get a jump start on all the competition. We've had some feedback recently on some listings that they like the house, but the agent put on the feedback form that there's just a lot to choose from. So you just have to make it a point to set your house above the rest.
Number 4, be realistic and be ready to offer concessions. So like I said, one of our biggest competition in Comal County is new construction. Well, what are these new construction builders doing? Well, not only are they offering seller concessions to cover all your closing costs, a lot of them, but some of them are even offering to buy down interest rates. So a par interest rate today, I think, is in the mid to high 6s. We have some builders offering interest rates in the mid 4s. That equivalates to a few $100s a month in payment. And so these builders are offering that up front to say, hey, instead of going on those resale homes, please come buy our home and we'll give you this pretty shiny interest rate that'll make your payment lower. As a homeowner and trying to sell your home right now, what do you do to combat that? Well, be realistic and be upfront and potentially offer seller concessions. Say, hey, maybe we're going to offer $10,000 to $15,000 in seller concessions to cover your closing cost or buy your interest rate down, or whatever the buyer may need. We are seeing the builders competition doing that. So as a resale home, as a homeowner, as a seller, you might end up having to do that as well.
Right now, what we're seeing with the solds, with the resales, we're seeing around $5,000 to anywhere upwards of $30,000 in concessions being made. But we will, on our first meeting, let you know that up front, and then also provide that in the next sheet too. That way you can know if now's a good time to sell.
For sure. And this is also neighborhood specific, home specific. When we run those net sheets, we run the market analysis that is independently done for each property. So each property is going to be a little bit unique.
I know, despite the way that we've made this video sound, selling in 2025 does not have to be stressful. We just closed on a property in Schertz, Texas, and they followed all of these steps, and it had 4 offers within the first weekend on the market. Our open house had over, I think it was 15 groups that came through, and 3 of those people were interested in seeing it just the first time they walked in. So that just tells you that those updates, the curb appeal, the pricing, everything matters. And when they made those updates, we were able to price it actually above what the market suggested, just because the stuff they did was so impressive. So I'm always encouraging people, if you know that there's things that you want to do in the house and if it fits within your budget, go ahead and knock up those projects now so you can enjoy them.
So it just takes the right prep, strategy, and local team to get your house sold in 2025. Again, we're Drake and Michelle Carter with the Carter team at Keller Williams Heritage here in New Braunfels.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so we know to make more videos.
And reach out to us so we can sell your home.